Hello everyone. So today we are going to talk about third part of routes of drug administration. In this lecture we are going to talk about systemic route of drug administration. In last two lecture we talked about factors governing choice of route, classification of routes of drug administration, and now finally we are going to talk about systemic routes of drug administration. So, what do you mean by systemic routes of drug administration? The drug administered through systemic route is intended to be absorbed into bloodstream and distributed all over, including the site of action through circulation. So, in systemic route, drug will distribute all over, uh, including the site of action. But in local route, we saw that we applied drug externally only on the site where we want action. But systemic route is totally different from local route. Systemic routes is classified into various type like oral route, sublingual or buccal, rectal, cutaneous, inhalational, nasal, parenteral. Parenteral is further classified into subcutaneous, intramuscular, intravenous, intradermal. Subcutaneous route can be given by using various machines, or can be given by various ways like dermojet, pellet implantations, Cialistic application. So now we will talk about first the oral route of drug administration. So we all are familiar with this route. Drugs available in solid dosage forms like capsules, pansules, drages, powders, tablet, and liquid forms like elixirs, syrups, emulsions can be given orally. So we know that we can take tablet, we can take syrups. So this is familiar route. Now the merits of oral route. It is safer route. It is not harmful. It is more convenience. Uh, it is non-invasive. It uh, it it doesn't require cutting of body. It is often painless. Assistance not required. It is cheaper. It is not expensive. Medicament need not be sterile. So these are the merits of oral route. So what is oral route? In oral route, drugs available in solid forms like capsules, pansules, drages, powders, tablets, and liquid forms like elixirs, syrups, emulsions can be given orally. So what are the advantages or merits of oral route? It is safer, it is not harmful, it is convenient, it is non-invasive, often painless, assistance not required, uh, it is cheaper, medicament need not to be sterile. Now demerits or limitation. Action is slower, so we can't use this route in emergency conditions. In emergency condition, we can use sublingual route, intravenous route. So, but oral route is very slow, so we can't use it in emergency conditions. Through oral route, we can't administer unpalatable drugs like chloramphenicol. So it is not suitable for unpalatable drugs. Can cause nausea, vomiting, may stain the teeth, and leave unpleasant odor. So we know that some people have problem of nausea, vomiting, and this and may and this route and by using drugs through oral route may stain the teeth and leave unpleasant taste. Certain drugs like gentamicin are not absorbed, so certain drugs given orally are not absorbed, so it is not suitable for certain drugs like gentamicin. Some drugs are destroyed by digestive juices, example penicillin G, insulin, liver. So some drugs can be destroyed by uh, digestive juices. Some drugs may pass through first pass metabolism, so drug available for the final action will be very few, very lesser. So we can't use this route for some drugs, but it is safer, it is convenient. So it is in routine cases we can use this drug, but in emergency conditions we can't uh, use this route. So this is all about oral route. Now we are going to talk about sublingual or buccal route. The tablet or pellet containing the drug is placed under the trunk or tongue or crushed in the mouth and sprayed over the buccal mucosa. So what we are doing in the sublingual route, the tablet or pellet containing the drug is placed under the tongue. We place a drug under the tongue or we crushed it in the mouth and sprayed all over the buccal mucosa. Example, so whenever you write in exam about sublingual route, give the examples of few drugs. So glyceryl trinitrate and sorbitrate is also given sublingually. So give two to three examples of sublingual route. And then merits, liver is bypassed. So here there is in oral we saw that there is problem of first pass metabolism, but in sublingual route there is not a problem of first pass metabolism. Absorption is relatively rapid, action can be produced in minute. In oral we saw that action is slower, so we can't use this route in emergency condition, but sublingual route can be used in emergency condition because absorption is relatively rapid, action can be produced in a minute. One can spit the remaining drug after the desired effect has been obtained. So this is also a main advantage. One can spit off the remaining drug when desired action has been obtained. So these are the merits or advantages of sublingual route. Now demerits, only lipid soluble and non-irritating drugs can be administered. So to cross buccal mucosa we need only lipid soluble drugs. Non-lipid soluble drugs we can't administer through this route. It is inconvenient to patients. So oral route is convenient, but sometimes sublingual route is not convenient to the patient. So this is all about sublingual route. So what is sublingual route? The tablet or pellet containing the drug is placed under the tongue or crushed in the mouth and sprayed all over the buccal mucosa. Examples of drugs administered through sublingual route: glyceryl trinitrate, sorbitrate. Merits, liver is bypassed, therefore there is not problem of first pass metabolism. Absorption is relatively rapid, action can be produced in a minute. One can spit the remaining drug after the desired effect has been obtained. Demerits, the only lipid soluble non-irritating drugs can be administered and sometimes it may be inconvenient to the patient. So this is all about sublingual route. Now we are going to talk about rectal route. So rectal route, certain irritant and unpleasant drugs can be put into the rectum as suppositories or retention enema. So drugs given through rectal route we call it as suppositories or retention enema, get absorbed and produce systemic effect. So these all are we are talking about systemic route. So in rectum we can insert certain irritant unpleasant drug which we can't take orally can be inserted into rectum and as suppositories or retention enema. The rectum or enema, example of rectal route of drug administration: indomethacin, diazepam, ergotamine and other drugs. So examples are indomethacin, ergotamine and diazepam. So merits, used in patients having recurrent vomiting. So patients having recurrent vomiting can't take drug orally. So we can give this drug rectally. First pass metabolism is also bypassed. So in oral route there is first pass metabolism. In sublingual route there is not first pass metabolism. In rectal route we have the rectal route there is also not the problem of first pass metabolism. So demerits, highly inconvenient and embarrassing. It is highly inconvenient. Some patient may feel embarrassed, so it is highly inconvenient and embarrassing. Absorption is slower, so this route is also slow like oral route of administration. Irregular and often unpredictable. So it is slower, irregular and often unpredictable and may cause rectal inflammation due to insertion of suppositories or retention enema. So what is rectal route? Certain irritant unpleasant drugs can be put into the rectum as suppositories or retention enema, get absorbed and produce systemic effect. Example are indomethacin, diazepam, ergotamine and other drugs. Merits, used in patients having recurrent vomiting. first pass metabolism is bypassed. Demerits: highly inconvenient and embarrassing. Absorption is slower, irregular, and often unpredictable, may cause rectal inflammation. So this is all about the rectal route of drug administration.